Right, so first of all, before we go into this lovely gallery, what I'd like to do is tell you where I am. So this is a town called Harpenden, and it is north of London, near probably a city you may have heard of, St Albans, which in Roman times used to be called Veralium. And Harpenden sits between, is within an area of 3 valleys. The eastern one has a river, as does the westerly one, and the middle one is a dry valley. And thank you, Linda. Hope you're going to enjoy this tour. And the middle valley, the dry valley, is where Harpenden sits. And it originates from Roman times, and they called it Harpden, which meant military path through the valley. And it was the military path that took everybody down to Veralium, which quite an important Roman town, which obviously, as I said, is now called St Albans. We've had a few prominent people that have lived in Harpenden. From an art point of view, probably the most prominent artist is Frank O. Salisbury, who was a portrait artist, and he painted a number of prominent, he lived between don't quote me on this, 1874 to 1962, I do believe, and he painted a number of prominent people. He painted 4 US presidents, as well as a number of industrialists, and he's I think he's painted Churchill more than any other artist. Very celebrated, almost a British painter in residence, if you like to say. So I'm here now at a gallery called Thompsons Galleries, and we're going to now go inside and we're going to meet the co-owner, I guess you'd say, called Meg, and I'll introduce her to her and just find out a little bit of her background. So let's go through the door. Sandra says, this is cool. What's the temperature? It's actually fairly chilly.
It's cold.
Hello, Meg. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. I had this lovely smooth contraption. Yeah, please do.
Because otherwise we will get interrupted.
Yeah. Now, Meg is the daughter of the original owners of the gallery, so John and Sue, I believe.
John and Sue, my parents, yes.
Yeah, and they set up Thompson's Galleries in 1982.
They think they set it up in 1982. The records don't actually go that far back, because obviously accounts we have to keep for 7 years. So they think it's 1982. They are not 100% sure, ish. So
okay.
Yes, set it up in Albury in Suffolk originally.
Albury, which is a easterly coastal town, beautiful, historic little town, isn't it?
Yes.
And they then opened up a gallery in London as well.
Yes, in the 90s they opened up a gallery, early 90s, opened up a gallery in Dover Street, which is obviously quite a well-known street for art. Well, it still is, but less so. Less galleries can afford the rent.
Yeah.
But still some big players on there.
Yeah.
And we've moved from there to Marylebone to now where we are, Marble Arch. Is where we've settled for the last 4 years. But we've been all over. We've done the city, Cophall Avenue in the city of London, and even stretched to Stow-on-the-Wold in Oxfordshire at one point.
Oh, right.
But it was a bit far for Mum to drive, because Suffolk is on this side, Oxfordshire is on this side. They were on the M25, which is a major road, but it takes a long time for too many years, and they had enough. So now we are only in 3 locations.
Right, okay, and you obviously were wanting to follow them in their footsteps. Now I'm going to hold it this way, because then, so Frances says hello from Trinidad. Hello,
oh,
Frances.
Wow, that's a distance.
So I'm going to switch it round and hold it here, and then I can see what people are asking as well, the questions. But just imagine you talking to me.
Okay.
So yes, you went and did art history, I think.
I did. I think I always went. I did art history at school, obviously, then went on to university, University of Leeds. But I think the most you learn, like anything, is actually doing the job. I mean, I learned more from my parents doing this job and the realities of this job, working for them from a very young age, of doing, helping out, packing the envelopes, serving wine at private views, that sort of thing. So I think, I never think, well, I can learn historical things there, but learning the job, way more fun doing it. So I've been doing it for about 12 years now.
Right,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Oh gosh. So you haven't truly got your feet under the desk, as it were.
I think so. I hope so. I hope I know what I'm talking about nowadays. I said that to someone the other day, and they said, "Of course you do." I said, "Well, I think everyone always feels like an imposter, whatever they do sometimes. So I occasionally feel that way. But no, by now I sort of know what I'm talking about."
Brilliant, brilliant. And why Harpenden? Because I gave everybody a little bit of history behind the Harpenden.
Yeah. It's some people think it's a bit random. Basically, London's about an hour away. It's sort of actually a very nice triangle to where we live. Albury, Suffolk, London, and it's sort of here. And my brother moved here about 8 years ago, and I was living in London at that time. And we've always said how good a gallery, in particular, we would do here. And we sort of discussed it over many lunches and dinners and never done anything about it. And then I had children and moved out of London during lockdown, and one of the thousands and thousands of people who did that. And it became about the space. You don't want to open a gallery until you have the, key things, parking, all these little things that really do matter. And as I was walking during a lockdown, I saw that this shop had emptied. So I tracked down the landlord and I found who was doing it, and that was it. That was that, really.
And you had to move pretty quickly, I would imagine.
And we had to move very quickly. Although the actual process, I did that in February. I didn't get the keys until August, and I was 9 months pregnant. So it was terrible timing.
Oh, God.
But these things you can't help. It's 6 months on. I think we are slowly establishing ourselves, which is quite nice. And it's been very handy because actually a lot of people know us from London, but mainly from our Albury gallery, because everyone here in this town seems to holiday in Albury. I think when we first looked at our list, we had 270 active buyers in the area, which is remarkable from just that town. Blows my mind. So far, it's been so far good, so good.
Yeah. Now, we've caught you at an incredibly exciting time because you have literally just launched a new exhibition.
We have, opened on Saturday.
The Scottish exhibition, which you're calling Caledonian.
The Caledonian, yeah, it's just a different name. I mean, we've named it, we've done the Scottish show since the 90s. It's been a long time. So we have always loved essentially the Scottish schools and Scottish colourists, the influence from them. And it's something that my mother and father started for years, and we thought it was we haven't done it in a while. I don't know why we shied away from it for the last few years. We haven't done it in a while, so we thought it would be the perfect introduction to us as a gallery here to show the breadth of Scottish contemporary art, which we think is wonderful because the schools still teach painting and the influence from the Scottish colourists, and yes, we love it, basically.
Brilliant. And just to let everybody know that as we walk around, if you've got any questions that you'd like me to put to Meg, just write it on the live chat and I'll try and see it. The only part, don't make them too difficult. And we'll obviously have a look around at the art. And the other exciting thing is if any of the art takes your fancy and you think, oh, I'd really like to look at, investigate that, maybe potentially owning, drop us a line at Shopkeep Arty, either via the Patreon app or via our website. And I can then put you in touch with Meg, and if you do end up purchasing a painting, we are very exciting. We're going to be able to give you a free workshop entry or a video of your choice from our website. So bear that in mind as we go around. If there's anything that takes your fancy, do let us know. And ask away. That's what we're here for live. Fawzia says, delighted to meet you. Greetings from Bangladesh.
Goodness me.
So, hello, Fawzia. Nice to meet you. Right, okay. So, let's flick the camera around again. And where should we head first?
Where to start? I don't even know. I've got some pictures on the floor, which is a good sign, actually.
And is this because things are coming in?
They are going out, which is very nice. So I've got two pictures from the show going out, which is wonderful. I've got someone coming to see that later, which has actually got nothing to do with the exhibition.
Oh, okay.
But he's an artist that we've exhibited for about, when did we first show him? Years ago, maybe 12 years ago now. He's an artist called Carl Meligari. He is a British artist with Italian heritage, and he actually, it's a really interesting story. The first time we met him, he approached my father with very accomplished, but on the sort of, I'd say I'm more on the twee side of pictures. And then my dad said, thank you, but no thank you. And a year later, he approached Dad again with this style of art. It was landscapes to then this. And my father, he's based in Bristol, and we were based in Aldborough, and my father jumped in the car that morning and bought everything from the studio for the entire years of work.
Wow.
And we've had such a successful 10 years with him. It's been really great. He was actually just on a very famous program, but now I can't remember what it was. It's The Backdrop, and I will find it out, but I cannot remember.
Now, can they access the exhibition paintings online? Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's
everything
at Thompsons Galleries.
Thompsonsgallery.co.uk. And it will be, well, should be on the front banner at the beginning, but otherwise if you go into exhibitions, everything's there. And if we've done our job right, everything should also be in the artist section. So you sort of have a look down and see what's what.
Now, Alison says, how do you find your artists? Are they well known to you, or do you ever have an artist approach you directly with a bunch of paintings under their arm?
Yes, it does happen. In fact, I get approached 4 times a day, I'd say. Either via email, walking in, or whatever other way you can get approached. We don't shy away from it. I'm sounding very scathing. That's not it at all. I think we get, like I said, 4 times a day. There are some wonderful artists that we've met that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there are also some artists that perhaps aren't our taste we've met that way, but we hope to always suggest where to go, because I don't like just saying no if it's not for us. I like to give an option for something else. But yeah, I mean, all sorts. Some of these artists we've been with, I mean, a lot of them we've been with for 20 years, which is remarkable. But this artist I met quite recently.
Okay, this one on this wall here.
Yeah, that one fairly recently. I think Abby, our manager, got in touch with her because she'd seen a piece while in Scotland and thought it was wonderful, and so found it there. I mean, there are so many different ways to find artists. Studios.
Sorry about the reflections in the glass.
Yeah, you meet artists through artists, and you've also got sort of quite a breadth of age, really. All sorts. I mean, I don't really know.
And who's the artist that did these canal scenes?
Yes, these are scenes from Maida Vale in London.
Okay.
So if you all know Maida Vale, if you don't, it's near Paddington. It's a canal area in Maida Vale. So Helen is...
Little Venice,
Little Venice, yes, they do indeed, yeah. It's beautiful. It's actually a really good walk if you're in London, to go from Little Venice to...
and you can even get the boat that takes you to Regent's Park.
Oh yeah, it's actually probably, I think, the best walk in London. But that's actually quite rare for her to do London. I haven't had very many of her. They're actually going to London Art, if we don't sell them.
Yes.
They are going to go to London Art Fair, which we have, it's been moved, it's not next week, it's the week after. So we will probably take these with us if we haven't had any sales until then, because she is always very popular there. And I would be shocked if they didn't go, considering the subject matter. But Helen, Scottish art artist that works and lives from the Scottish borders, near Bracke area, always does quite whimsical things. And this is an example of her, really. I always think they give me a smile. And sometimes I think that's what it's about.
Yeah, you're right.
I think we've had 2 very, very successful shows back to back. In our Aldborough gallery, we sold everything last August. Quite remarkable. No, the August before. And actually we have a solo show of hers opening in August this year in our Aldborough gallery.
Right, great.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that I'll mention to everybody is if I pass by, because there's so many paintings, if I pass by a painting that you'd like me to go back to, I don't know how you'll refer to it. You could say the shiny one with the boats or whatever it is, and I'll try and find that back. But I'll maybe go round as we're talking. So this is a particular style here. This looks really nice. Who's this?
This is Vary McGregor. She is a member of the Royal Society of Scottish Watercolorists, but these are actually oil paintings.
Yes.
And I think she is one of the most wonderful artists. I've recently bought a picture of hers. I think she'll be someone who's quite regarded in the future. But she's a wonderful artist. She only paints from life. She's been known to have sort of easels in the back of her car, and actually has an easel. Used to have an easel for her children. So when she would jump out, her children would paint too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's Peter King, another Glasgow School of Art alumni, I should say. Always paints sort of quite atmospheric works of coast of Scotland and the Highlands.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Seems to be very popular at the moment. I think the sort of the contrast in colours seems to be very popular.
Alison asked, do galleries still frown upon watercolours in favour of oils?
No, I think no, because someone was asking me that about charcoals the other day, and works on paper generally, I think it's changed. It's changing. It's still not changed. I think you will always fetch more in oil. But I think it is changing because things last longer nowadays. Different papers, different, you know, the fact of it, the reason why they didn't was because they didn't last as long in historical terms. So nowadays that is changing, and I think with that is the change of, and lots of contemporary works are now on paper. So it's changing, it's not completely changed, I would say.
And you do have some watercolours in here, do you? Is that
I
a
don't
water?
have
Oh,
any
is that
watercolours.
more
That's-
acrylic?
No, that isn't. So this down here, these are new. They arrived yesterday. Hence,
Okay.
we're going to get them on the wall. This is an artist called Matthew Draper. He's another Scottish artist, actually stunning.
Captures the light so
this,
well.
for me, is the best piece that we have for him.
Lovely.
That's in. It's got to be Sky. I mean, there's no the sort of the heather at the top. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Very, very atmospheric, and these are done with pastels.
Are they really? Right,
yeah.
okay, yes.
Absolutely. So we've shown him for years actually, and had a bit of a break
I
recently.
love
and
how
now
he's
I've got them
captured
in.
that sliver of light. Just
Around there, it's
coming down.
wonderful,
Lovely.
isn't it?
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
other. I don't think there's any other place that looks. I mean, I'm biased to Scotland, half Scottish family and all that, but there's no place that it has to be Scotland.
Yes,
Beautiful.
yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, that's lovely. Right, yes, interesting. We did have a couple of shows sponsored by Unison Pastels, so check those out.
Well, we actually, and speaking of pastels, our Albury Gallery is just about to open the Pastel Society exhibition over Easter. So we don't shy away from it. It's not that. I would say we predominantly do deal in oils, but not completely.
Okay, and I've captured that portrait there of that moving character.
That's my father's favourite picture in the
It's
entire
lovely.
show. Yeah, that's an artist called Graham Wilcox, another Glaswegian.
Well, he does a lot of good portraits. I did have a look at his profile before, and interestingly, he's done some great, if anybody manages to go onto Graham Wilcox's website, he's also got some great water-based, like underwater, I think he calls it. And you've got another artist that
Also
focuses
deals with water.
on the water as well. And this
Patsy
is
MacArthur.
Patsy MacArthur.
Yeah,
She look amazing.
yeah, she does.
They look
some
so
stunning
stunning in the right house setting, wouldn't they?
Oh, brilliant,
Really.
absolutely brilliant. Yeah, no, fabulous. Very difficult to get this colour right though when you're printing it, only because I've just argued with the printer, or not the actual printer, but yeah, they are so subtle, these pictures, and I think sometimes a camera does sort of ruins the sort of the subtlety, but beautiful.
No, Graham's he captures the movement in his
Look
figures.
at his hand.
Yeah. Lovely. Brilliant. They're big pieces, aren't they?
That one is quite big, yes.
Yeah.
Good rule for that.
Right, we kind of skipped a few on the way there. I don't want to miss out some. So this colourful fishing port scene.
Yes.
Jonathan Robertson.
Jonathan Robertson. I mean, it feels boring to say another Scottish artist. I think Dundee Art School. And hold on, where is this one? It's an interesting one. I'm going to bring another one forward because he doesn't always work that size. He does work, because I mean, it's rather large, that one. He does work in a small thing. But if you know an artist, a very famous artist called John Bellany, he is a very famous Scottish artist. And this is almost an ode to him, because I believe that was John Bellany's boat's name. Yes, a very sort of an ode to, I think, in that. But he does these most sort of, with Jonathan, you will either find these sort of very amusing fishermen or a wonderful relationship It's quite, there was a picture in the catalogue actually that's sold recently between, let's see if I can find it.
I like the small painting behind with white parasols, somebody said. Would that be, is it this one here?
Oh, yes,
maybe?
Jack Morocco.
I don't know who saw that, because
Yeah.
I don't know whether I showed this wall, but anyway.
I think you might be on the website. I think you might see that.
Ah, there we go.
Jack Morocco, who, if they are on the website, we've seen we've sold one of them, which was the Café de Deux in Paris. And this one I think is in Italy, because he goes out to Italy and France quite regularly to paint. He's from a family of artists. He is a nephew to an artist called Alberto Morocco, who is a very serious Scottish painter, died 20, 30 years ago. And he just does the most wonderful atmosphere. I think the best thing about Jack is his light.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is just a cafe scene in Italy while out there. It was actually, that's just a study of his, but stunning piece.
Right.
Good spot.
Yes, very good spot. So yes, we were talking about Jonathan there, and that was great. And then we've got some more landscape scenes here.
I think this white,
Philip Bracke.
This piece by Philip, I think, is one of the most stunning pictures of the show. He is a member of the Royal Society of Artists and Royal Scottish Society of Artists, and I think this piece in particular is absolutely stunning. It is so difficult to get that detail and that atmosphere that he has. Absolutely beautiful. Very difficult again to photograph for a catalogue to capture that subtlety and that. I don't know if any of you are in that. If any of you are in the cold at the moment, but it definitely captures that. It makes you shiver. Very beautiful artist.
And he did this one above as well, the moonlight reflection on, I guess that's like a rock pool or something.
It is indeed, over Lunan Bay.
Lovely. Yeah. Then you've got some fairly almost pointillism type of...
Indeed, these are so quirky, loved by my manager actually. Absolutely beautiful art, Lauren Bowman. I mean, they're completely nuts, if I can answer it. The Le Port de France, where you've got cats and dogs on bikes, and this one is called Holy Catrimony. So sometimes, not always completely serious paintings in here. I think you've got to laugh at yourself a little bit and enjoy the art sometimes of what it can be. And
this is Niall.
It's Niall.
Niall Hannah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, don't worry. A beautiful artist from, now I'm going to use Iran. I think he's from Iran, but always been in Scotland for forever. I mean, 30 years. We've again shown him for 30 years. Always very atmospheric. Captures these sort of scenes, usually with this moon at the top. I have to say, I tend to lean towards his more figurative works, where you have, you know, the fishing boats and creels, and this is lobster pots here. He's always known for featuring lobster pots in his works. And I think that's for him, because he does, this is another example of his down here. I was fixing the frame earlier. And because it had a bit of a dink. Now you can't see it, so it's perfect, it's wonderful.
It's a fantastic frame.
It is a good frame. Well, that actually, Scottish artists always frame. They don't seem to scrimp on frames.
Oh, do they ship it?
They ship
like
it.
That?
Artists ship it exactly how it is, because it's quite personal. Our clients always find framing incredibly personal. So we tend to leave it to the artist to do it. And Scottish artists always do it rather well. They know the value in a good piece.
And this painting here, who is this by?
This is Robert Kelsey. Now, Robert Kelsey, as a fan, we've known him and dealt with him for maybe 35 years. Wow. I mean, for a really long time. You know, we've done so many things with Robert. He's so well known in the sense that he paints the west coast of Scotland so beautifully. And people always ask me whether it actually looks like that. On a good day, it really does. Yeah. And Robert is a wonderful friend of the family's, and we've shown him for forever. I mean, at one point we were showing him, and I don't think we would get that news. News is too depressing, I think, right now. Yeah. But there was one time when we were on the 6 o'clock BBC News with Robert's solo show, and we had queues. It was remarkable.
Wow.
Absolutely remarkable. It was an amazing time. So we've shown him for forever and love his pictures.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And we've got another little room. It's almost like a secret room at the back.
Yeah.
Let's
This
go
was
in
a
here.
stock cupboard, but we had too many pictures, so I had to pull everything out.
And right, whose is this? This almost reminds me of the Devon coastline, actually. But
James Harrigan. Yeah, that's Guernsey, I think. Actually, I know. I don't think I know.
it is St Martin's Point.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I think he captures particularly, I think this perspective he's caught with everything is brilliant. And that bridge just here. There's all these details that with a loose picture you can capture. And I think he's done it absolutely beautifully.
Lovely.
Yeah. Charlie Jameson, not always Scottish scenes at the top there. That is the Three Sisters in Australia.
Okay.
In the place called the Blue Mountains. And I believe they're called the Blue Mountains because of the eucalyptus. It makes it all blue when you look out at it. I'm pretty sure that was what, I mean, I haven't visited there in forever. That below there is a Michael Clark. I personally have one of these pictures. I love them. I think they're so subtle and beautiful.
They are, yeah, so simple yet capture the scene so
and
well.
they're always, and there's so much depth in those colours. And he again is another artist similar to Jack Morocco, the one with the parasols. In fact, they both featured parasols. They obviously spend a lot of time in France and Italy.
Yes, drinking espresso
and having a good time. That's a market scene, probably in France as well.
That's lovely, very colourful and
very
vibrant.
colourful, yeah, indeed.
And then when I saw this, it reminded me of Keiko Tanabe over in California when we hosted her and we did a scene in Venice. And look at that.
Paul Kennedy, the only picture I have left in the show now.
Really?
Yeah, we only opened on Saturday.
Oh,
yeah.
Sold them all. Well,
Sold
that
them
is,
all.
that is
I know, rather good.
good business.
Yeah, not bad. Paul's a lovely artist. And I think the water he's captured there is
He has.
fascinating.
He's done that so well with the swirls. It's really, really effective. See, if you saw that close up, just that shot, you wouldn't think it was water necessarily.
No. But
it's as you pull back, it just all of a sudden it makes sense to the eye.
Indeed.
It's great. Good talent.
I should tell you, Susan Jones, look at the flint, no, the slate here.
Yeah.
This actually has got nothing to do with the exhibition again, but given its sculpture, we thought we'd keep it
lovely,
because it's rather beautiful.
That is really nice.
And actually, what it is a bicycle wheel, and then the slate is put into it. Takes a long time, as you can imagine, to get that detail and that swirl.
Yeah,
takes a short
must have taken
while.
a long time.
Yeah.
And you've got a great fun piece on the floor.
Oh, I mean,
waddling along the
to
floor.
Go up. Andrew Squire, always absolutely. He is actually a real. He has joined the. What do we call it? They stopped the M25. Now I can't remember. That was. I was going to say Accenture, but that's not the right thing.
Debbie said, "Love the water in Paul Kennedy's Venice."
Oh,
painting.
good. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, no, Andrew Squire, very reminiscent of a very famous artist called Craig Yateson. And he does these wonderful scenes, always bright, always vibrant, always have been incredibly popular. But he is also a keen artist to sort of promote animals, really. In the most recent show we did from him, I mean, these geese I think are not endangered, but he did a particular show on endangered animals, and I think that's where he's going, because he has joined various societies to protect everything, and we've done joint exhibitions with the World Land Trust and given them percentage of the sales, because he's a very keen sort of climate change activist.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So they are a bit of fun, but they do have a serious connotation. Usually,
they really pop.
They
really
pop.
Really
they usually try and have a good. This exhibit. This is one of my favourite artists. There's an artist called James Fullerton, and these cows are going to be in a place called Ayrshire, which is near Glasgow, and that's where James is from. And James has probably been one of our successful artists over the last, again, 25 years. He is, I would say, the modern day impressionist. It's quite amazing to watch him work and how quickly he can do things in the flick of a
You can tell
wrist.
it's just a few
And that is
palette.
a master of skill.
Yeah,
there
it
is
is.
no, you cannot teach that apart from practice. And he is absolutely
Really
remarkable.
amazing.
In fact, he has got a retrospective exhibition on at the moment at the McLaughlin Gallery in in Ayrshire, which is a sort of a charity-run gallery run by artists. And we've been supplying, going through he was looking for particular pictures from his last, 25 years of sort of exhibiting.
Yeah.
And we've been sourcing them and sending them up and borrowing them from clients. Some of these pictures, I sold one in 2004. We sold one all the time. And he's got a retrospective. So I would say, if you're in Scotland, in Ayrshire, go and have a look, because it's good.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Really good.
Well, thank you very much for that tour. There's this tapestry-inspired, I would say, piece on the window here.
Yeah, but I've got to move it because it's not a very good seat. You can't see it very well. I think we need to
light behind it.
It's the light and the glass.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of sort of. She's another Glaswegian, a wonderful artist.
Did she do tapestry in the?
She does. Yeah.
Ah, she does. Yeah, because you can tell there's a real nod to that.
One of my favourite pictures in the show is that, actually. I love the rich oranges, I love the colour.
Yeah.
And I think she's wonderful. So I was very thrilled for her to say yes to exhibit with us.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much. We've probably missed a few out, but hopefully that's given you a good introduction to this gallery and to some of the artists, some of the Scottish artists in Harpenden in the southeast.
We can send PDFs of this catalogue,
okay,
so those of you in Bangladesh or wherever you are.
So do let us know, in touch, and similarly if there's any art that you'd like a bit more information on or some high quality pictures of, so that you can make a decision whether you want to do something. Investing in art is actually quite I think yes.
I always so this.
Yes.
I think there are too many concretes with that.
Okay.
I think there are 100%. I do it myself. I hope, but as I always say to everybody, I just watch out for guarantees, because, like anything,
it's all right.
You might have the right artist, but it's not willing to pay for it. So that is something completely a yes and no. And I would try and advise everyone in a real truthful manner, and buy sensibly, look into it, really research, and then get the best pictures of the artists that you're into. So all artists have their off days.
Yes.
And so you need to be, it's really looking into it. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I can see a few thank yous coming in. I saw from Debbie Rowley saying thank you very much. So hopefully you've enjoyed today. I didn't quite know what to expect. It's been really interesting. Would love your feedback if there are things you'd like us to cover in the next gallery tour, if we do one. So first of all, is it good? Did you enjoy it today? Secondly, if we do this again in the future, what sort of things you'd like to cover? Hopefully it's been inspirational for you, because I know you're all budding artists and creatives anyway.
Oh, great.
So these sort of things can really inspire you when you're sitting down in your art studio or whatever. Please do let us know, but until next time, it's obviously goodbye from me, but obviously thank you so much for sharing your gallery with us.
Not at all, great pleasure. Terrifying, no, but great pleasure. Very, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye everyone.
Bye.